Hello, I'm Paul.
I'm Adam.
It's been so long I've forgotten who I am.
Who are you?
Oh my god, you're so funny. Everyone give this guy a medal.
It's actually a really funny joke, actually.
Wait, see?
If we replace Ben Murray with fucking Bill Murray.
Wait,
that was clever. Just said another B. Murray. Not
that
funny.
wasn't funny either.
Silly joke.
This is FilmBusters, and that was Ben.
Oi.
FilmBusters.
Right, guys, it has been a long time since our... I don't even know what to say.
It has been
been
a
over a
long
month.
time. Whose fault was that?
I think it's Paul's for having a baby.
I think it was your fault, Ben, because me and Adam went to see Dr. Sleep, and you didn't. You decided you wouldn't go see it, so we got delayed in watching. And you'd already seen The Irishman, so you were at an advantage straight away. And yeah,
It was very tough for me to see Dr. Sleep. There was nowhere was showing it. It was very hard for me.
He had a poorly kitty cat.
Excuse me, is this The Irishman? No, this is Dr. Sleep. That was like worldwide release.
I know, but I was busy that first week. I thought I'll catch it the second week, and then it got stripped down big time. I had a lot going on, mate.
Mate.
He had a poorly kitty cat.
So we're very sorry to our avid listeners who want us to talk about Dr. Sleep. Let me just say off the cuff, I gave it a 9 out of 10, so it would have been a really good episode. And what did you give it, Adam?
An 8 out of 10.
Yeah, so it would have been something to talk about, Ben, but
it would have been.
I guess we'll never speak about it.
I tell you what. Why don't we do a bonus episode?
DVD release one?
Yes, exactly, Adam. In March and April next year, we'll do our first DVD release.
Okay.
And you two will have forgotten all about the film, so you'll just have to listen to me talk.
I wouldn't, because I've actually ordered it on Steelbook, so I'm going to be watching it again. That's how much I care about that film.
Big talk.
This Steelbook son of a bitch. You are pretty wise with that mouth of yours when you talk about Steelbooks. You fucking Jimmy Hoffa wannabe motherfucker.
There we go. You're getting the call forwards. I was about to say call back, but we're actually a call forward to
what we haven't even talked about.
Yes, very nice.
Anyway, it's nice to be talking to people again.
It's lovely.
Everyone's been doing lovely content, and we've just been sitting here, and like our content's just been empty. People have been waiting on their podcast players. They wanted to hear us, and why we didn't give them anything?
I know.
Because you were busy with a poorly kitty cat.
And you couldn't do anything because you were always drinking every night. And Paul was having a child every day.
I know, every day I had a child.
So there's our priorities. Paul's is his child, Adam is his drinking, and mine is my cat.
I've not been doing any of that.
I think we have some more better priorities than Adam does, really.
I'm sorry, just because you got a child doesn't make you better than me.
Whoa.
I think you shouldn't be so reliant on that alcohol, Adam.
That's social. That's the government telling you that you're better than me.
Just so you know, a few days ago, me and Adam was at a gig, and because he was flashing his new iPhone 11 all over the place, they stole it from him, and now he ain't got no phone. Or he has. He's working off a Nokia.
I wasn't flashing it around.
I know, you weren't. The funny thing is, I was flashing my shit around all the time, and mine
That's why it's even more annoying, because I wasn't.
Yeah. You wanted me to be your victim.
Do you know why someone stole his phone?
Go on.
Why?
Because he was on that sauce. He was drinking again. Yeah. See, full circle.
His
We're
guard
back to
was
the
down.
drinking. It's a big problem.
I'm blaming Ben this time.
Hey, listen, should we give a shout out? Hang on a minute, Paul. Check this out. Me and Adam were doing some actual promotion of the podcast while we was out.
Okay.
The manager of a new bar that had only just opened at the O2
No, she wasn't the manager of the bar. She was a manager
Oh.
of all the bars and all the shops and all of that. And she was meeting with the manager of the bar.
Well, excuse me, all over the place.
She was like the manager of the space.
Anyway, we told her about the podcast, and then she was like, okay, I've hit subscribe. So we saw her hit subscribe on the app, so this will be the first episode she listened to of ours, perhaps.
Well, probably not, because it's been so
Shout
long.
out.
Yes.
Let's listen to our whole back catalogue before we put an episode out.
No. Anyway, it's good to be back. It
Banter.
feels nice.
Yes.
Let's go.
It's like De Niro, Pacino, and Pesci reunited on screen, only in podcast format.
Who would be who?
I would be Pesci.
No, I think Adam would be Pesci.
Why?
It's possible, actually. I think you're right.
I think you would be De Niro,
Yeah.
and I think I'll be Al
nice.
Pacino.
Because you wear a wig.
Who wears the wig?
Al Pacino.
Oh, Paul. Yeah.
I do have a wig. It's true.
Anyway, should we move on with this?
Yeah, I think we should move on with this. Yes.
That was a nice preamble. Best preamble we've ever done to a podcast. You know that? That felt so nice.
It did. It was nice because it's been so long. We just had a nice little chin wag.
We needed to leave it all in.
Yes. Of course, I will.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone.
No relevance
Lovely
to what we're
singing there.
talking
So let's go to the staple of the episodes, which is our lovely little quiz, which we haven't done in so long, which is so lovely. This do the scores up front. Ben is on 15, Adam's on 7, and I'm on 10. For anyone who has not listened to an episode before, we do a quiz every episode where I ask Adam and Ben 2 lovely little questions. And
Lovely
if they get a question right, they get a point. If they get it wrong, I get the point.
Can you record this so I don't have to listen to it every week?
No, because
Add it in.
it's great that you just
It
like
annoys me
moaning
single
behind
time you
every
say
single
this,
time.
It annoys me.
Yeah, it's good. It's great. I'm glad it annoys you.
Am I right in saying that after this, we've only got 2, potentially 3 recordings left? So if I get both of these questions right, there's no way I can be beaten.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm excited for this. I really
am.
want you to be the host next year.
Come on.
Right, should we go for the first question? We all know the first is a tagline question, which is...
I'm not going to get it, though.
It's something around to do with the film we're talking about. Whether it's the director, whether it's an actor in the film, who knows? You will find out. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, man, give it.
Here we go. Lies, betrayal, sacrifice. How far will you take it?
Oh, mate.
Shit on it.
Like, the obvious answer seems Goodfellas, so I'm going to say Goodfellas.
It is wrong. It is not Goodfellas.
Oh, I think I know what it is then.
Oh, I don't know, to be honest. I'm thinking of the lies bit. That's annoying me.
Yeah, the lies bit.
Throw one out there. Go on.
Shutter Island.
That could be it.
It's wrong.
Oh, that could have been. That would have been a great shout.
It is The Departed.
I wouldn't have said that.
Really?
Fucking bollocks, man.
Yeah, lies, betrayal, sacrifice. How far will you take it?
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't put that down as a tagline for the party.
No, I wouldn't. And anyway, I don't like to associate that with Scorsese in any case.
I love The Departed.
What?
I
Yeah,
love
but
The
you're...
Departed.
Listen. We don't want to associate that with Scorsese because he has so much original content and then he was praised so much for that remake. The original Internal Affairs is far superior.
No, it's not.
It is.
No.
Well, in your opinion, son, because all you like to see is white faces on a screen, that's why.
That is exactly why I love it so much.
He took it there.
So now Paul...
So Paul gets the point.
Paul's crawling.
Yes,
to
I get
right
the point. I'm on 11.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Should we go straight to the next question?
Yes, what am I on?
Yeah.
16?
You're
15.
on 15, mate. Don't try and get a point on
15?
me, you know. You're
Cool,
15.
blimey. Well, even if I get this question right, you can
Cool,
still win.
blimey.
Cool, blimey.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
you're very far ahead, so don't worry.
All right, come on then.
Here we go. In Goodfellas, Jimmy and Henry threatened to feed a man to which creature in the Tampa Zoo?
Lion.
Yes, it's a lion. Well done.
I can't even remember that scene. It's got
I
to
was
be,
going to
hasn't
say
it?
tiger. I was
Oh.
going to say tiger, but yeah.
It's got to be one of the two, innit?
You claim that point back, mate. You claimed it back.
We're going to feed you to the dolphins. You sleep with the dolphins. That's nice. 16-11, yeah?
Yeah, 16-7. Yeah, are you just like disregarding Adam's score now?
Well, Adam's out.
I should ask the question to the end of the
Yes,
year.
16-7-11. That's what we're on.
So we've got a potential 6 points still up for grabs. So there is always a chance I could let this lead slip. But it ain't
Yes.
going to happen really now, is it?
No, I kind of want you to get it, so... Not that I'm going to make it easy for you.
Wait till my questions next year, which are all about 1001 films to see before you die, starting in the 1900s.
What did a
I
rocket
really-
crash into?
Yes.
It was a moon.
Adam, what did the rocket crash into?
A moon.
Oh, he's a
It was
film buff.
actually the face of the moon.
Yes, the eye.
Yeah, into the eye.
It's actually quite a good film.
It is.
I quite enjoyed it.
I
They're
give
all
it
dressed.
I
They're
give
all
it
dressed
5
as
stars.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, they are.
Mickey Mouse gown, magician.
Yes. Oh, magician. Anyway, I don't want to talk about any of that stuff now because we got something big.
Yes,
Let's talk big.
yes. But before we talk big, let me just
Oh.
say one thing. We have not mentioned this. You featured on a podcast. Would you like to explain?
What?
Yeah, so I was on the... No, it's Ben. I don't want to take no glory.
That was a good joke. Yeah, I was. I was on a For Your Reference podcast talking about Big Lebowski. They were very welcoming to a FilmBusters member of staff, and I feel that we three kings should absolutely be inviting them onto our show to discuss some magic in the new year. So let's have a think about how we could reciprocate, because they were most gracious hosts.
It was a great episode.
It was a nice episode. Adam, have you listened to it?
It was top work. I listened to every second.
Yes.
Oh,
Adam,
that's ridiculous.
You mentioned the dude, and you mentioned a rug.
He actually
That's
never
right.
mentioned a dude at all, ever.
Yeah.
So you're wrong.
Never said dude. Actually didn't talk about dude. Do you want to know what is actually interesting, Adam? Is that we didn't really talk about the dude at all. We talked about John Goodman's fucking character.
Why?
Because
Exactly. He definitely didn't listen to it then, did he?
Exactly. Listen to the podcast, son, and you'll see.
I'll give it a listen.
And because we love For Your Reference so much, we're going to throw a little promo in here of their podcast. Here we go.
Hey friends and potential lovers, have you ever felt so passionately after watching a TV show or a movie but not have a pal to share it with?
Allow us the honor of keeping you company with our weekly podcast For Your Reference with your hosts,
KT.
and OT.
Each episode, we break down our hot takes that you'll either ardently agree or vehemently disagree with, like subs versus dubs.
How important is a cohesive narrative?
What's with the popularity of the relatable villain?
Is it possible to be truly objective in spite of your own experiences?
And most importantly, are you getting a clue, and which direction is it pointing?
Come on now, it's pointing towards For Your Reference.
That's a great reference. If you've got a little room in your rotation for some salacious frivolity, check out For Your Reference wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, very good. Don't they have lovely voices?
They do. OT's laugh.
I'm definitely going to have to listen to some more of them.
Yeah, they got the good shit.
They do. After that beautiful little promo, are you ready to actually talk about the main event? The lovely film that we've been waiting for so long. The
You have
Irishman.
literally fucked my headphones.
Roll the theme tune.
The main event. Here is our feature topic, plus Adam might do a rubbish plot summary.
Are you fucking serious?
Right, guys, we're going to be talking about The Irishman. This is a spoiler episode, so if you have not watched The Irishman, we will be spoiling every minute of it, every 3 hours and... How long is it again? 3 hours and...
3 hours and 29 minutes.
29
minutes.
minutes.
I think, isn't it?
3 hours and 18?
I thought it was
29.
3:18. I think the final 11 minutes is the credits.
Oh, okay, right, yes. It's not actual footage.
No.
Well, we're spoiling every 3 hours and 18 minutes of this film, so if you've not seen it, do not listen any further than right now.
And you should be going to watch the film in its full 3 hour 18 or 3 hour 29 minute glory.
Yeah, no breaks.
In one go.
No breaks. Are we going to talk about that
Maybe
whole break
unless you need a
thing?
pee-pee.
Yes, of course we are.
Unless you need a pee-pee.
If you need a pee-pee and you call it pee-pee, you shouldn't be watching the fucking film. As we've recently found out, most of film Twitter is little fucking kids. And this podcast is not for them.
Ben, save your anger. Save the anger.
All right.
Yes, save the anger. First of all, Adam, would you like to explain the plot?
Oh shit, I've got to do that bit. First of all, it's got Scorsese directing it, De Niro, Pacino, Pesci. Who's it? Harvey Keitel was in there. There's
Great
loads
plot
of people
summary.
in it. So if that's not enough reason, then just watch it. And it's about the Irishman who killed Jimmy Hoffa.
There you go. There's your spoiler. Bam.
What a great plot summary. I bet that's on Letterboxd, that summary.
Yeah.
It's about the Irishman that killed Jimmy Hoffa, was
Jimmy
it? Is that the actual plot summary? Did
That's
you
a
just read
plot
that?
summary.
I mean, you don't need any more than just to see the cast. If you only need any more persuasion than that,
I'll agree
then
with you.
wasted.
You could have just released
You
the
wasted
cast.
it in cinema.
So we actually know each other's scores because it's been a while,
Yes.
so we could not keep our mouths shut, and also because Ben saw it quite a while ago at the London Film Festival. So he did a lovely review of it as well on our website. If you want to go view that as well after this podcast, you are more than welcome. But we do already know each other's scores. But who wants to
do.
go first?
No, Adam, you go last because we know the score, so it makes sense for you to go last. All right?
Okay.
Let me go first.
Go.
Shall I do the 1 minute summary as well, or just the
Yes,
scores
yeah,
for now?
go for it. Go for the 1 minute
talk.
summary.
Okay, so I gave this film, of course, a 10 out of 10. Immediately after I came out of it, I knew that I had witnessed one of the best films I had seen in fucking decades. It was impossible for me to put all my thoughts together in the first 24 hours, and even now, 2 months later, I struggle to get all my thoughts together. But suffice to say, this is the greatest film of the 21st century. I gave myself the deadline of us recording this podcast to decide if it was going to be Inception or not. And 100%, I am fully convinced and adamant in my conviction that it takes the number one spot. And it is therefore my favourite film of the 21st century.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
Stunned you into silence.
No, I'm happy with that. It's fine. It's good.
Do you know what that also means?
Go for it.
That it's in my top 10 films of all time, because Inception was number 10. So it's entered the all-time top 10, which is epic. I never thought it would happen. Again, I thought that would be my top 10 for a long time. And look, that happened for both of us in the last month or two. You with the Joker and me with this.
Yes, that's true. Very good. Okay, so I'll go next. When I watched this film, I was just thinking, man, this is fucking magic. This is just beautiful, just seeing these people just acting on the screen together. It was like a sight to behold. I knew I was watching something great. And what made it even better is the fact that I didn't even know this was based on some true story. I thought it was just a piece of fiction that Scorsese was writing himself, but the fact that it's actually come from some true events, it just heightened my experience even more. And everyone in the film was brilliant. I love the fact that each character, each actor, even though they've played something like this before, they all felt so different. They almost playing the opposite of what they normally play. Like Al Pacino, even though he was playing his loud self, he almost felt a little bit insecure. Robert De Niro, he felt, even though he was vicious, he felt a little bit weak. And Pesci, he was like not his loud animal-like self. He was just like quiet, humble man, but at the same time like an animal still. And I thought it's absolutely beautiful. 10 out of 10. Amazing.
You're very right, that is true. All three of them are playing against type.
Very well done.
Adam?
Thank you.
So I didn't give this film a 10 out of 10 like the two of you did. I gave it a 9 out of 10. And I agree with all your facts.
And for that reason, this will be
fantastic.
Adam's final FilmBusters podcast.
Adolf Hitler over there dictating what people think.
Spit it out.
Yeah, I just thought the only thing that started to annoy me at the beginning of the film, but I got over it after like maybe 2 hours of the film, was they would talk about, this is the only thing that grinded on me, they were talking about an event happening, and then they cut to the next scene, and then the event would already happen, but they would never say the event happened.
What?
When he was doing jobs at the beginning, this is what really annoyed me. He would talk about, say, I'm going to go do this job or something like that. And then they cut to another scene down the line and he'd be like, yeah, that job I did for you yesterday. And it was the job they were talking about. It annoyed me.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I think
don't
you
know
are
what
the only
you're talking
person in
about,
the world who would have that complaint. But
I don't even know what you're talking about.
that's the weirdest complaint to have.
It is. It doesn't make sense. And if you watch it again, you'll realise it.
Hey,
it
you do
happened
you,
and it was
baby.
just-
If it annoyed you, it annoyed
So
you.
the first 2 hours of the film, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, this is happening again. But at the
You were
end of the
thinking
day,
that
it
for
was
2 hours.
Yeah.
Why aren't they showing me everything? I need to know how he slept. Why did he say good morning? I didn't see him go to bed.
Yeah, but yeah.
So you're
But
talking?
it's absolutely
Are you
brilliant.
talking about when they're jumping back and forth between like different time periods?
No.
You're
They're not
talking
going
about
through time at the
when
beginning.
he's delivering the stakes, yeah? Early up, when you first throw back to him as a young man.
Yeah, it's around that time.
Yeah. But
I just felt it kept
I
jumping
think
a
the
bit
reason
too much.
I can get you being frustrated about that, but I think the reason is because it's such a fucking epic tale over decades and decades and decades.
Yeah, obviously they don't
It
want to
wa-
spend time.
Yeah, it wasn't
dealing with
important
that,
details.
But at the same time, it was it just kind of like, did that happen? Did that not? And then by the time you worked it out, it's like, oh, and then you've gone up a bit. and it took me a while to get into the film because of that.
And
Do you know when you...
Okay, so taking that out, what else makes you not give it a 10? Because I feel we should talk about that first before we talk wider, right?
I don't know. I just feel like it needs another watch. It's like it is on the cusp. I feel like if I give it one more watch, then I'll definitely be able to say yes or no to it. But I don't know if I can give it a 10 out of 10 at the moment.
Fair enough.
Yes, that's fair enough.
Even though I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's the weirdest complaint about fucking Irishman I've ever heard. It wasn't that it was too long. They just didn't go into enough detail. If anything, Adam wanted the 5 hour. Yes.
It would almost been beneficial.
Oh my god, Adam.
Right, so I want to know how do you think is the best way to tackle this film, because it's a long film. We can't go through the plot. I think it's just gonna have to go back to our old school ways of just saying I like
everything
this bit,
and
I like this
anything.
bit. Yes, anything that comes to mind.
May I throw the first thing out there?
Go for it.
I just wanted to give, because I kind of didn't explain in any way why I enjoyed this film so much. I just said, it's amazing, it was amazing. But the reason why I love this film so much is because it is all of these big hitters. It's the big actors and it's Scorsese reflecting on their careers. It is them being themselves, reflecting on all of the work they've done and saying goodbye. And it's like, it's not just about who they are in this
final film.
Well, maybe. Who's to say? I don't like viewing it always as that. Probably. But for me, the thing is, like, it was so fucking mature. I said it in my written review, and this is what I really like. It was like Scorsese going, right, let's do the first hour, and this is going to be like Goodfellas. We're going to look back on life. We're going to look back on Goodfellas. Then the second act is going to be like, we're looking back at Casino, because it had that Casino vibe. And then the third act was uncharted territory. I have never seen Scorsese do what he did in that final half hour, 40 minutes of The Irishman. And it was so, like, bleak. It was like a stark warning of what will happen in life if you just stop looking at the things that are actually important to you. Like, by the end, family, friendship, love is all gone because he was just loyal to this stupid oath that he didn't need to keep. Like, when the FBI guys come to him and they're like, everyone you were trying to protect is dead, Frank. What are you holding on for? At that point, that is all he's got. And where does it leave him? Alone and lonely, looking back on a life filled with regret. And that's what I love, because it is such a mature tale for all of them. It is so reflective for all of them. We've seen their younger selves. It's how we're all going to be when we get to the end of our lives. We'll look back on our younger selves and look back at some of the carefree stuff we did, some of the reckless stuff we did, then the times we loved, the times we broke hearts, the time we did stuff that we regretted. And at the end, the best you can hope for is to have people around you that love you and that you loved and be proud of your life. But him at the end, he ain't.
Yeah. How did you see that ending? Did you see him as, like, almost watching his back, or he didn't want to be like locked in a like cornered animal with the door closed?
Yeah, it's not. Well, maybe, but I didn't see it as him watching his back. For me, he was
Loneliness.
An old man, lonely. He wanted the door open, just so that he could see people walking by.
Almost like a child wanted the door open.
Yeah.
Right.
But Jimmy Hoffa always had the door open when he slept.
I don't remember that. That's interesting.
When they slept together, he left the door open, didn't he? He was sleeping in the living room, and he went to his bedroom and he left the door open a bit. And I thought it was like just a little nod to that.
That's true. That could have been a little nod.
Yes.
So you know from the beginning, Robert De Niro's talking to someone. Do you see that as him
talking to the audience? Is why
do you think
I
he's
see
talking to the audience? You don't think he's talking to the police?
Nah.
No.
It's just like Ray Liotta in Goodfellas.
It jumps after that. I mean, it jumps because that has that, and there's still. I think there's times the film is set after that with the police turning up. I mean, like, it is meant to be his confessional, right? But I feel like it's kind of his confessional to us.
But wasn't the book written by him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he did. He went in. The true story is he was in the care home and then he started telling people that he killed Hoffa. So the police must have come and visited him. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like it was like in Goodfellas and Casino, both have got a narration where they're both just talking directly to the audience, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So But
this was quite literal that he's sitting there talking to someone in the care home.
But he's looking into the camera.
No, not the camera. He's looking past the camera at someone.
Oh, I thought he was looking at the camera.
Yeah, I thought he was too.
I'm pretty sure it's past the camera. Because I was
Is it
thinking, who is he
through
talking to?
To
I was
or past?
No, past. Like as in like the camera's on an angle at his face, and his face isn't facing towards the camera.
Oh, I'll have to give that a rewatch.
I'm pretty sure it was, because I was thinking I was waiting for the reveal of who he was talking to in the film.
No.
Because if he was looking at the camera, I would not have like how Wolf of Wall Street is when he's looking straight at the camera. I don't question who he's talking to.
Well, maybe it was just because in all the Scorsese films, it's always like the characters always like narrate directly to screen, that I just assumed it. Maybe if I looked deeper, it would have looked like he was talking to the police. But even if I don't think he was, though, because his big thing was it's his secret. He's going to hold on to it.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's like up to interpretation, isn't it?
Yes.
Lovely.
What did you think about all the CGI, or not CGI? I don't even like to call it CGI. The youthification that was used on all of them.
I thought it was actually quite good. Only after it's one of those times where you just forget about it being actual CGI again. After a while.
Yeah.
I can be very honest and say the only thing I thought looked like CGI was when he was in World War II. The rest of it, I thought, is this Robert De Niro? Is this bit where he's just himself, or is this bit where he's got old makeup on? I couldn't tell. You're
right about the World War II bit. Yeah, that's a bit standout.
That's the only bit I could tell that something had been done.
When went too young.
A lot of people are saying about how Robert De Niro is carrying himself. He's like supposed to be this young guy, but he carries himself as an old guy. But from the beginning, when he's bringing the meat, I thought he's in his late 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
I never thought he's a young man because Pesci's been calling him kid. You're right, kid. People think, he's supposed to be a younger guy. He's like quite a young guy. Yeah. But he's like Pesci's supposed to be older than him, and an old person would call a young person kid. That's just how it goes. So
yeah, I got the impression he was like late 30s.
What? De Niro.
Because he had a family, didn't he?
I thought he was
he had like kids, 8 or 9. I think, I mean, a lot of that will have been to do with the fact that De Niro was still playing the body of a younger man, like 76, 77-year-old De Niro, or however old De Niro is, I can't remember, was still playing the body. So he's still walking and carrying himself as an old man.
Yeah.
But, you know, I saw something interesting the other day I hadn't really thought about, and it kind of works really well, is like, maybe the reason why they all look a bit older, why particularly De Niro, why he looks older while simultaneously supposed to be a young person, is that sort of like nostalgia. Like when you're an older person and you reflect on your youth, you're sort of carrying with it the baggage of age as well. So you make yourself look older because you now know what you're going to turn out like. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Hence why it felt like he was an old man. Like the one time it really stood out for me that he clearly wasn't that age is when he beats the shit out of that guy who was working in the greengrocer or whatever.
I was going to say that, yeah. How he was stamping him and stuff.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
But that's the only time that ever stood out.
I know.
I've never. Point.
How incredible it was, because there were times when they were clearly meant to be younger, but I was like, is this just De Niro and Pacino looking younger, or have they used the makeup? Because I would have believed either.
Yeah, I really did not know.
What did you think of the blue eyes?
I liked them.
Oh, I didn't even notice them. Jenny
it stands out more when he's older, when he's an old man.
They gave De Niro blue eyes in the edit because he was meant to be Irish. They added the blue eyes for him. But some people have found it very distracting. I didn't notice it. Jenny has this really weird thing where she always clocks people's eyes all the time. So it's one of the first things she said after the film. And I was like, I didn't even think about that.
What did Jenny rate it?
I don't know what it is out of 10. She very much liked it and loved it and respected it too.
Was she scared to tell you her real rating?
Probably. She probably thinks, fuck, we're watching that. 3 hours and 20 minutes. I needed at least 3 breaks in that.
Should have been split into episodes.
Yes. Here's the Netflix viewing guide. We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Well, I think I've just remembered the points I was going on about. And it's when, remember I was saying earlier, he jumped a bit too much. When he first met Joe Pesci, it was almost like he just met him and now suddenly he's his best friend, getting introduced to everybody. It wasn't really like he only met him in the petrol station like a day before, and it felt like, oh, he's straight away in with everybody here.
No, but they had that scene where he met him again, met up with him again. They said, "Oh, you're the guy who fixed my engine." They met in the bar, and then straight away they're doing stuff together, and then the next thing he brings up, what's his name, Bobby, whatever his name is,
Cannavale. But
yeah,
I think,
and then they're like, "I'll get this guy to do something for you."
There's a lot of stuff that we don't see that's meant to be implied, I think. Like, time is passing.
Yeah, that was a bit too much. Like, I get that you can imply stuff, but it was a bit too much at the beginning. It was like, it just almost made it jump a bit too, like, is they best friends with him yet, or what's happened here? And I think that's what put me off at the beginning.
Fair enough.
Okay, that's fair.
Didn't work for you.
Didn't work for old baby boy.
I just feel like, is it done or what? We doing? Where are we going here?
Let's talk about another big thing in this film. Let's talk about Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Go on,
I loved his character. So
Yeah.
good.
Were you nervous? Were you nervous before he came on screen? Like, oh, please don't fuck it up, Al.
I was really waiting for Pacino to come on the whole time. When's Pacino coming? When's Pacino coming? When's Pacino coming? And then he gives him that call, and you're like, yeah, this is it.
I love that they held off at introducing him for like an hour.
You're waiting for him.
Yeah.
But he's got a big role because everyone else is fucking smashing it out of the park before he turns up.
I know, yeah.
Suddenly you can't just come in and be the weak one, can you? But
This is
He was
this is
very good.
this is why this film works so well, because this film is so long, right? It gives you time to settle in with these characters.
Absolutely,
And by the
man.
end, when Al Pacino gets shot, I was like, oh man, no, this
Yeah.
is so bad. I can't believe it.
It really hurt.
It was so
That just
sudden.
really hurt me
it was
when he
so
was-
sudden.
De Niro doing it.
Yeah.
That's what hurt the most. It's like you actually generally thought they were like best friends.
And
That's
literally, you're waiting for it to happen, and before you even know it, it's already done, and it's
Yeah.
too late. It's like you don't even have time to react.
But
Don't
wait, we
even-
talk about that death later. Don't jump to the death.
Yes,
yet.
I know.
Stick with
Come on.
Pacino. Stick with
Yes,
Pacino.
stick with Pacino.
Because yes, he did exactly what you said at the beginning, Paul. Where we know that he plays it all outlandish all the time, and there was plenty of that as well. But there was also a bit more introversion as well. He had vulnerability. He was playing an old man, an old vulnerable man. Like when Pesci and everyone were like, he's got to go. You really worried for him, or I did.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, fucking police see sense, man. Stop challenging these fuckers. They're going to take you out. And you felt for him. You didn't want him to go.
100%. I kind of felt the same. He was playing the same kind of way as the guy in Goodfellas. You know, the guy who was on TV who jumps in the swimming pool.
Oh, shit, yeah, with his wig.
And
Morty or whatever his name is.
Yes. Talk about wigs as well. You talk about
Yeah,
wigs.
yeah, there we go. Wigs are plenty.
So, do you know how he's like begging him, and then he's getting to the point where he's starting to annoy them, and it's like, just stop. You've just got to stop now. Please stop.
There was plenty of humour that came from Pacino's introduction. Because up until that point, there wasn't too many. I don't think there was any laughs. But then when Pacino rocked up, it created that watermelon scene, which was funny. That scene where he was like telling them they were all motherfuckers in the room, and then De Niro storms out, and he's like, "Where are you going?" He's like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
call me a motherfucker. I'm not going to stay around. I didn't even see you in there. I wasn't talking to you. That shit is brilliant, man.
That scene is where I felt the vulnerability of Al Pacino, because even though he's shouting at them, he's doing his Al Pacino shout. He feels like, why did you do this to me? Why?
Yeah.
Like, he's upset, and he's like, he doesn't know how to control, like, use his emotions properly. He's not like that strong Al Pacino that we know.
No, you're right.
Going to jail, isn't he?
Yeah.
And like, how good was it to see the two of them on screen so much? Because in Heat we got that one coffee shop scene and the death scene, and don't get it twisted. Both of those scenes are fucking epic. But to have so many scenes of De Niro, Pacino, like De Niro and Pacino on the road, it was almost like buddy movie a little bit, because it was just like seeing their friendship from time to time.
Yeah. And because the film is long, it feels like another film. Like just them together, and then Robert De Niro and Pesci together. It feels like two separate entities, because you have that long time with each of them, and it's like you proper settle in with their character. You settle in with the relationship between them.
Yeah,
it's great, really good. And the fact that he don't like people being late, so funny.
Oh mate, that don't you? I think that's his best scene.
Graham.
That's it. That's arguably one of the best scenes in the whole film.
One of the best. So good. It's like when he's like, I'm going.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not staying.
But you know what? That lateness thing, man, that is old school. And it's real, it's believable. Like, that is a massive diss from Stephen Graham, it's true. So something as simple as that, not being on time for that appointment, he knows exactly what he's doing by rocking up late. And it's so fucking explosive, because you can't even, before Stephen Graham walks into the room, that he has chosen to be late for that fucking meeting.
Yeah.
And that is disrespectful.
Was that before or after the prison fight?
That's after, because he's coming to he wants him to apologise for the prison fight.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
And you turn up in shorts.
Yeah. Oh man, how good is all of that? Stephen Graham is a fucking talent, man. He's spoken great. About. He's like the new Pesci. He's like Pesci from 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, he's like explosive, isn't he? He can be explosive, and he does it well.
Big shout there.
Do you know what? Didn't it make you just think of his character from Boardwalk Empire though?
But he's
Tommy from Snatch, isn't he?
No,
he's Al Capone.
Al Capone, yeah, that's right. Yeah. You should watch Boardwalk just for him.
It is kind of like, because he's like an explosive kind of. He's a little like he's small guy, but he's threatening. Yeah.
Very
Definitely.
threatening, very ominous. Like I was sure, because like you were saying at the beginning, I knew it was based on a true story, but I didn't know the true story really. I didn't really know what happened with Hoffa, so I didn't even watching the film. I didn't realize that De Niro was going to be the one to kill him up until about 10 minutes before he did it. But I thought Stephen Graham was going to kill him after that scene. I thought that's it. He's dead.
Yeah, like it was leading up to that. Yeah.
Well, nobody knows in real life how he died, though, does he? It's always still like a mystery.
No, apart from the fact that the Fred Sheeran guy, Frank Sheeran, said, "I did it." No one knows if it's true.
Apparently, a lot of people have claimed it though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it might not still be true, but
there's
still,
a whole
it's a great
angle
story.
that in this film, there's a whole angle that probably led to his death in real life, which is the political stuff, the union stuff, which for me, I had no knowledge of. I didn't really understand the union stuff, how it worked fully, only from what I've gleaned from previous films. So that he probably died because of something to do with that. It definitely would have been mafia involvement. I'm not sure if it would have been that Frank Sheeran, but possibly. So let's talk about a couple of the other cast members, but then we talk about the thing. Harvey Keitel, very small role.
Yeah, very, very small, very subtle. Not very many speaking roles either, speaking parts.
No, barely needed.
He was powerful still, didn't he?
He did.
It was nice to have him, but yeah, it wasn't really. I don't think it was used that well. He wasn't used that well. He was. You knew he was there, but then by the end of the film, you're like, oh,
yeah. Why was
the point
he
of his character?
Especially because they led with it in like the promotional materials. Like after the top three, it was and Harvey Keitel, and it's like, what? You should have been at least saying Bobby Cannavale. Bobby Cannavale had a bigger part than Harvey Keitel. Stephen Graham had a bigger part in both of them, but Harvey Keitel's the name, so they're going to lead with that. And Bobby Cannavale, very good.
Yeah, he was good. He was there pretty much the first half, wasn't he? He was gone by the second half. Yeah, he was good.
Again, he was brilliant in Boardwalk Empire, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was really good in Boardwalk Empire.
As
that was
a
a good
side note,
season.
Don't you think in Boardwalk Empire, the most interesting stuff was the antagonist? It was never what was going on with Steve Buscemi.
100%.
It was always Bobby Cannavale, Stephen Graham, everything. Yes. Anyway, forget that.
Yeah, totally. I'd say it's another standout, Ray Romano.
Oh, mate.
He was great.
What is going on with Ray Romano? How is he doing this and Paddleton in the same year? Incredible.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, shit, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was really good.
He's doing that
funny.
like Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey thing of, okay, you know them for comedy, and then it's like, no, watch me act properly now. And it's like, what? How are you doing this now?
Yeah, it's like, look, I can do this as well.
Yeah, he was very good.
Yeah, funny. It's really funny.
What do you think about Action Bronson in the coffin shop?
Shit.
Yeah,
Worst part.
stupid. Pathetic. I don't. Someone come up to Scorsese and went, "We got this guy. He's a really big star." And Scorsese was like, "Well, why am I going to put him in the film?" And it's like, "We won't give him any lines. We'll give him like 1 or 2 lines." And Scorsese's like, "I don't give a shit. It's a nothing role. Give it to whoever the fuck you want."
Is that what he actually did?
Yes, he told me.
He told me. The reason I didn't like it.
I just thought he was a fan of his music.
Oh, don't be silly.
Listen, I don't know who the prick is anyway, and I'm glad.
No,
that
neither do I. I just
music.
knew he was in it because everyone was talking about it, and it's like, why are you talking about this? But the reason I didn't like it is everything felt so old school in it, and then it comes to this prick, and he's like, "Who are you?" And why you?
Right.
It's like watching a comedy.
I felt it was like him just trying to live in this modern world now. Like he's now he's in a world where he doesn't know. Like he's in the care home. he can't control everything around him. Like before, he's always been in a world where he knows exactly what to do.
Remind me
Now
what
he doesn't
happened in
care
the
how-
Action Bronson scene.
He was in the coffin. He was picking out his coffin.
Oh yeah.
And it's now
Okay.
like he's almost like he's just fed up with everything, and there's this guy here just giving him lip and just chatting shit to him, and he's like, I've had enough of life. Like,
Okay, that's a good analysis. I could accept it on that front. Like he's living with a prick who's.
I felt it was like he's meant to be annoying and he's meant to be over the top and modern day kind of thing.
Well, he
rather
certainly
than the
was.
old school.
Yes, horrendous.
And let's now talk about Anna Paquin's character.
Okay,
With the lack of lines. Oh my
Go
god!
on. What about it though? Say your piece.
I think we
on
said
it.
this the other day. It was her silence was needed. If she spoke, it would have ruined the whole role.
You got it.
Her silence towards Joe Pesci was just brilliant. And then as soon
Mm-hmm.
as Al Pacino comes in, she's like in love with him, and it was just like that whole constant battle between the two of them. For
Yeah.
they obviously know that's the way into Frank's heart, and they're just going to fight over it. And her by giving him the silence was, yeah,
It was
quite
strong.
important,
The
really.
silence was the strength.
can I say something about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't mean to bring up this thing in every film we watch, like try and pick it apart, but I felt like there was some kind of paedophile element.
What is with you, boy? Jesus.
but I don't believe it's true. But when Al Pacino was like giving her ice cream and all stuff, that I was like, is this like some kind of weird thing where she's like being like molested by him or something? But then it didn't play out like
Why
that.
does your
It
mind
didn't
go
pl-
to this all the time?
No,
You're
but it didn't
potty.
play out like that. So I knew that wasn't what happened.
The thing
But that's
was,
what I
it was
thought.
like it was essentially the father figure because
Yes.
Robert De Niro is the literal biological father, but he is emotionally distant. She knows what he's about. She has no connection with him. Joe
100%.
Pesci comes along and is like, oh, this can be my connection to Frank. Let's solidify.
He doesn't
Joe
have any
Pesci's
kids,
got
does
none
he?
of his own kids, so he's like, okay, let me be uncle, whatever. Let me get close to this kid, and I'll show that we rally around and we look after our own. But she knows what he's about. She wants nothing to do with him. And I felt bad for Pesci. I really did feel bad for him. When Pacino comes along, it was like well, here's the good father. That's the good father. He's buying her the
He's a
ice
good
cream.
fella.
He's dancing. He's a good fella. He's a good father. He's dancing with her on the dance floor. Like, it's all very sweet. It's like, look, that's there's a sweetness there. That's the relationship that she needed and that she wanted. And it reminds us that Hoffa was this guy who he was a human, man. He wasn't this horrible fuck like the rest of these guys. He wasn't doing this terrible shit unless he was backed into the corner. Like, he wasn't perfect. And that was sad. But in that scene where Pesci watches Pacino dance with her, it's like, fuck, that is acting masterclass from Pesci, because it is
Yeah.
so understated.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible.
Really good.
Even the scene when she finds out that De Niro basically killed her. But he doesn't say anything to her, but he admits basically.
Well, that scene, yeah, where she challenges him and she's like, why haven't you called whatever his wife's name was?
Yeah.
Like,
Jimmy Hoffa.
yeah,
His
that
wife.
whole thing, Jimmy Hoffa's wife, that whole thing of her not having spoken, when she just says that after having not
It
spoken
keeps up
for
the
so
end of the
long,
film, doesn't
it's
it?
like, fuck me, yes, how much weight is in those words, because she knows, he knows that she knows, but also, now get on that phone and call her. And this is my favourite scene in the entire film. It's when De Niro gets on that phone call and has to speak to Frank Hoffa's widow, Jimmy Hoffa's widow, and I don't think there's any cuts. And De Niro does one of the best performances of his fucking life, because he's trying to hold that shit back.
Yeah.
He's
Stumbling over his words.
He's stumbling over his word. He doesn't know what the fuck to say. He's killed his friend. He's killed her husband. He's fucking sad, but he needs to speak. He can't. He hasn't got the answers. It's like his fucking world is crumbling. And De Niro plays it so well, man. It's like, that is. We ain't gonna see acting like that now. Where'd you get that nowadays? Who's the new generation coming up who can do acting like that? Subtle acting. When was the last time you saw subtle acting from DiCaprio? He's very good.
I'm just winding you
He is
up.
not subtle at all. Like, subtle acting, like where it's almost imperceptible that you're watching acting, when you're not sitting there going, oh wow, what a performance. You're in it, in that moment, you're in it, and you're like, fuck, I'm with this guy. This is horrible. Horrible that he has to go through this. What a scene, man.
Really great.
That is fucking magic. Incredibly played. I felt that shit in my fucking soul, man. That was horrible. You could really feel that, because it's like, it's everything. He's lost his daughter. He's having to talk to the widow. This one guy who he really liked and who seemed to like him for who he was, who he had a connection with, he had to just fucking end just like that. It's dealing with all of that in one scene. And my God, I'm sorry. Pesci is fantastic. He should win the Oscar. But absolutely, De Niro needs to pick up a fucking award.
Yeah.
He'll get leading actor. Joe Pesci's supporting, isn't he?
I know, but I feel it's so bad. I wish all three could get an Oscar.
I think it's going to go to Joaquin.
I think it will go to. I mean, okay. Do you think, or do you want it to go to Joaquin? I don't mind if you want it to go to Joaquin. It's your favourite film for ages.
Yeah,
so
it's my favourite film. I think it will go to Joaquin, and I'll be happy if it goes to Joaquin.
Yeah. I would like it to go to Pesci, just because he ain't going to act again.
Well, for support,
And-
it's not going to go. You're not going to get leads.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Pesci gets
Joaquin
supported
will probably get
100%.
it, yeah. Which is a killer,
I think
man.
Joaquin
Because this
get
would
over
have been
De
the
Niro.
one for De Niro and Pacino. This could have been their time to get one after so long without.
Yeah. Let me talk about something that relates to him and his family. I thought
Whose?
a really good scene, De Niro's family,
Yeah.
was when he's older and he's speaking to one of his other daughters, and he's talking about wanting to apologise to
Anna Paquin's character.
Anna Paquin's character. He wanted to apologise to her, and then she's like, "Why? Do you know how hard it was for all of us? What it's like is that in that moment you realise, why are we focusing so much on Anna Paquin's character? The whole family's been affected by this
the whole
man.
family,
and
yeah.
and the fact that De Niro his character was focusing so much on her as well that he'd forgotten about the rest of them. It's only because she was showing the emotion.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was a great scene as well, because I even went, oh shit, yeah, the rest of the family, I forgot about them. I'm
true,
focusing on
man.
Anna Paquin.
It was like he had one daughter and he just kept appearing out of nowhere, the rest of them.
Yeah,
It's true.
totally.
Every scene there was like another daughter just popped up.
That's very true, man. But that in keeping with the theme of the film, right? Which is this whole thing of you're missing life, you're missing what's important.
Yeah, he disregarded the rest of the daughters, and he might have. Did he have a son?
I feel like he did.
Well, yeah, he's disregarding the rest of them just for the one daughter who seemed to show her emotions,
Yeah.
where the rest hid it. And what's worse, hiding your emotions or showing them?
Hiding them. Can eat you up inside.
Exactly.
We all know very well.
Yes.
Oh man, this film, man. These are my guys, man.
There's literally so much. There is so much more to speak about this film. Let me bring another thing up. The violence in this film.
Yes,
was
let's do this.
So quick and sudden. There wasn't a build up. Do you know when De Niro goes and shoots that guy in the street in the face?
Yeah.
It's just like you see him coming off screen.
Yeah.
You see the guy in the middle of this walking, and then suddenly De Niro comes, bang, done. That's the
The other
violence.
thing I did love though was when he was going to go block the laundromat, or the laundry place, and then he gets called in. And
Called
he gets
into
told to
Harvey
sit down with Harvey
Keitel.
Keitel.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you're rolling with me now.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't do that. That was like a shift to power thing, wasn't it?
It was. But it's also... This is because Scorsese is now a more mature filmmaker as well. There's no need to sensationalise it. Like before in Goodfellas and Casino, we had to see like Tommy getting blown away in that
Yeah.
house and getting beaten up with baseball bats at the end of Casino. All of that shocking shit, heads in vices and stuff.
All the
now
meat
it's
truck
mature.
hanging in
We
the
don't
meat
need
truck.
it. Yeah, there's no need. It's a grisly business. We know that. Without those over dramatic kills, it's almost more shocking.
There's so many scenes in this that suddenly just come to mind. Like, oh yeah, that was in it. When he goes and shoots the guy in the cafe.
Yeah, but
When
you know
his
how
whole
brilliant-
family's there.
How brilliant that is like they talk about it for about 10 minutes before it happens.
Yeah.
And it's like everything then happens over the space of about 25 seconds.
Yes.
But everything that
Oh, and
was
he walks
spoken
in
about
and
in the
walks
plan
out, doesn't he?
happens. Yeah. Beautiful.
When he's saying, "I've got to flip the right gun," and he's picking the right gun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and but he wants two guns.
Oh, this is the magic, man. This
Yes,
is the
great.
cinema. This is the fucking
need to
He's got
cocaine
to
of
man.
he's got to
cinema.
shoot the bodyguard, but not kill him. Then he's
Yeah.
got to shoot. It's so great.
But then also, like you boys said, that scene where he kills Hoffa, it's so brutal because it isn't gratuitous, and it's so quick because like when they go in the house and he's like, come on friend, let's get out of here, and it's like bang, and I swear he goes ow after the first shot as well.
Oh, it was so quick I didn't even notice.
And
Two
you've also got
shots, and the first one he goes
Pelham's in
ow.
there as well, haven't you?
Jesse Pelham or Jesse Plemons?
Plemons, whatever.
Yeah,
He's like so innocent with it all.
We can't disregard that whole tense building up of them just driving the car,
Driving
talking
in the
about
car,
fish.
Even before that, even from
Yeah.
the moment that he arrives with Pesci at that place and they sit down to their little variety packs of cereal,
Yeah.
and he's like, "I got to involve you in this. It's the only way you're going to allow it to happen."
The whole scene of driving to the airport, getting on the plane, just the
So
whole bill.
good,
It's like,
man.
oh fuck! It's like, oh fuck!
Leave
It's
your
coming! It's coming!
sunglasses
It's
here.
coming! It's coming!
So good. What does tell me? Because I do not know. What was the significance of them talking about that fish?
Sleeping with the fishes, I don't know, that's it.
Well, maybe that was a little reference, but it went on for so long. I thought this has got to
Are you
lead to
talking about
something.
why he's talking about it, or is there a significance of it?
Like,
What are
I
you
thought
asking?
when I was watching that, I thought, okay, this is going to lead to something. Like he's basically picking holes in his story, being like, nah, there wasn't a fish there. What was really there? Because when he was like, why is the seat wet? And he was like, oh, I had a fish back there. And then he keeps asking him all these questions. What type of fish? And it was funny. It was funny, but I thought something's going to have been back there, right?
Well, the first
And then
thing,
it never paid off.
the first thing I thought was relevant was the fact that De Niro's son is like, I can take the back seat. I can take the back seat
Oh,
because
yeah.
he didn't want to be
knows.
sitting in front of that guy.
Yeah.
That was one relevance of having the fish in the back seat. But as I just thought it was just great because it didn't mean anything. They're talking about absolute shit,
Yeah, I thought
but
it was that.
but it's building up to this scene that means absolutely everything.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought it kind of was also the innocence. It showed the innocence of his character as well. Like they can just get this everyday life. It's just like
Yeah.
they're just going about doing this stuff.
It also shows the ruthlessness of these people that they know this big thing's coming, but they're just talking absolute shit. They're not worried. They're not showing any like emotion on their face. It's just like another day, but they know this thing's gonna happen.
Except for Jesse Plemons, right? Because he obviously didn't know his dad was going to be shot. Because
Yeah, of
afterwards, De Niro's like, he was involved, but he didn't really know what was going on in there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's one thing. Like, yeah, I didn't really get that bit. Why
Because
would he have been involved?
Yeah, like I think when he said he was involved, it was like he was involved because he had to be in the car in order for Hoffa to get in the car. But if that played out in real life, I don't understand how Jimmy Hoffa's son wouldn't have said, well, the last time I saw my dad, he was walking into that fucking house with Frank Sheeran.
Yeah, but I think they paid him off, didn't they?
What? Imagine being paid off to cover up the death of your dad.
Exactly. But and then that's why I was a bit confused. I was like, I didn't feel like there was any ill will from the son.
No,
Al Pacino.
exactly. So, I don't know, maybe a rewatch. There's lots of things on the rewatch that might just fill in all these blanks, add a bit
Yeah.
of colour to the paint.
Yeah, because the fact that I think it's very relevant, the fact that Jesse Plemons saved Al Pacino. Well, he didn't save him, he jumped on top of the gunman, didn't he? And he's like, this is my son, he saved me.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, he's the one who sent him to death.
Yes. Unintentionally, though.
Unintentionally, but...
You know that scene? Did you think that Al Pacino set it up, the scene you're talking about, when Jesse Plemons jumps in front of the gun, did you think that Al Pacino set it up? Because he quickly, as soon as the attack happened, he was like, oh, did you see that? My son saved me. Look, be like him. That's my son. And all the press are snapping photos. So I didn't think it was an actual attempt on his life. I thought it was meant to be him sort of setting it up for the cameras.
That's interesting.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Could have been.
What does he say? If you see a knife, you run at the guy. If you see a gun,
yes.
you run.
Yes.
However he was doing it was funny.
You run at him.
You run at it with a gun, you run. Oh man,
Away
it's so
from
good.
There are so many good lines in this film.
There's a really
Great.
lovely shot when Pacino and De Niro are going to bed together and they're in their little jammies and they're getting into their individual beds. It lasts for like a second or half a second.
Yeah.
And it's De Niro putting the gun down on the nightstand between them next to his watch. And it's like, there's a reason that Scorsese shows you that shot. and it's like we are just ticking down. It's an eventuality. We are just ticking down to this man's death. This gun will always be between them. At the time, I didn't think anything of it because I didn't even know that De Niro was going to be the one to kill him. But when I look back on it, I'm like, yeah, man.
I don't think we've spoken enough about Pesci.
No, okay. Here's something to talk about Pesci.
Go on.
Some of the most beautiful moments in this film are Pesci and De Niro having a little bread and red wine. Didn't you want your bread and red wine?
It up.
That's sad, man, isn't it? At the end,
Yeah.
when his arthritic hands can't even like hold it up. Like, how good was Pesci's makeup at the end? Like old Pesci.
Really good. Yeah.
I mean, his relationship, I bought the whole time. I was waiting for him to explode, and it never happened. And it's so good that it didn't, because it was like he did so much without exploding.
And
he
then it's
controlled
sad
everything.
when he says, and then he went to the church, and then he went to the coffin.
Aww.
Did he say something like that?
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
I haven't seen it enough to be able to quote any of it yet. That's my big regret.
Yeah.
And you love to quote, don't you?
I love to quote. But at the same time, I don't feel this is going to be a very quotable film, because it feels like more... I don't feel like it's just like little sound bites. There's a few, but I feel like...
Yeah, just little bits. Like
Little
the whole,
bits.
that whole thing about running towards a knife and running away from the gun. That is
Yeah, it's all in the performance, right?
Yeah, totally.
Oh no, there is one quotable thing. It's you might be demonstrating what is it? You might be demonstrating a failure to appreciate. That Pesci says to Hoffa when Hoffa's like, no, fuck him, I'm going to keep doing my thing.
Do you know what, another scene I loved so much was, let's just mention that the appearance from Silvio singing.
Oh mate, come on,
Yep. Silvio. What's the actor's name?
Steve Van Zandt.
Steven Zant. Yeah, him singing in his little wig.
His little
Very
wig
nice.
and his big white coat.
Yes, but in the same scene, we have the wonderful bit of Pesci and De Niro talking about you have to tell him, and then De Niro talking to Al Pacino. And it's like, come on, man, just stop doing this.
Just fucking listen to him. Stop. You're right. That's Maestro Scorsese, man.
Yeah,
because he really's got you in there. You're in there. You're like, please listen, man. And like you're like De Niro. You're like, oh mate, you've got to leave it because he's just not going to listen. But at the same time, you're like, no, you've got to try and convince him. Just do it this final time, man.
Yeah, he's endangering himself. By going too far, you have to try in this moment or just leave it. It's like the deed's done.
Oh, it's so painful, man. When you think about it, it's so painful.
Anyway, should we talk about the most pressing issue with this film?
What are you going to say?
That is the fact that they have released this film in the way it's been released, and therefore there's a target market now who are watching it and complaining about it.
Here we go. Come on,
Go on.
They're not quite understanding it, or are they?
Go on, Adam. Say.
With the 3 hours and stuff like this, and it's like you're quite happy to sit down and binge 3 hours of Netflix shows, and watch just 2 or 3 films that are in the same series together. It was released in 2 parts. People wouldn't bat an eyelid at it, but now people are like, it's 3 hours long, and then immediately watching it out, it was too long. It wasn't, was it?
If you hadn't seen this at the cinema, would you have watched this all in one sitting on Netflix?
Yes.
Good boy.
That's the way you're supposed to watch it, so why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
If I rewatched it, you might pause it for like 5 minutes or whatever, because you can. But
you might pause it once for 5 minutes to go to the toilet and get a drink or something, because you can.
But your first time, you don't know.
Who are these motherfuckers who are talking about splitting it up 4 to 5 times? What are you
putting
got
into episodes here?
Wait.
These are the type of people it's getting attracted to because of the way it's been released.
These are idiots. These are the same fucking idiots who sit down for 3 hours and watch Avengers, though.
Exactly.
Because they'll get colours all over their eyes.
Have a bit of fucking patience.
Mate, it's
get sucked into the film.
It's the young people. Young Adam comes with us, though. You've come with us. You're not part of that younger generation, right? But most people your age and younger have the attention span of a fucking fly. That's a Glenn Ross reference. It's because all they do is watch on demand. So wherever they are, whether they're having a shit or whether they're going to work on a fucking bus, they can whip out their phone and they can watch 30 minutes and then put it away and then go on to something else. So that's how they think they consume all media. They've got no appreciation for cinema. They call themselves cinema lovers. They wouldn't know cinema if it slapped them in the fucking face with a wet fish. They wouldn't have a clue. Yeah, they would sit. They're fucking idiots. They're idiots. I've got no truck for it. Sit the fuck down and don't watch the film if you haven't got the time to spend 3.5 hours on it yet. Wait. If you're busy this week, fine. Don't watch it this week. Don't watch it this month. Wait until you can watch it all in one. And if you need to watch it in 30, 40-minute tracks, bullshit. Do you know what that's like? That is like going to a play and walking out after 20 minutes to say, I'll come back in a couple hours and you can carry on. Why do you not? Because as soon as you walk away from it, you break up the mood, you break up the feeling. Imagine walking away from this film after the first act or the second act and then coming back to it later. You're not invested. You're not in it. You need to immerse yourself. It's cinema. It's the cinematic experience. And if you're taking big breaks, then don't watch films and don't talk to us about films because that's not how you watch films. And I'm not being a fucking Nazi about that. And I'm not telling people how they should enjoy films, but that is cinema, pure and simple. When someone creates a piece of art, they've got it as a whole, and you are meant to absorb it as a whole. You don't go in a gallery and say, show me 2/3 of that painting, cover the final third up, and I'll come back later and I'll just look at the final third. That's not how it works. Cinema is art, film is art, and particularly a film like this. I can understand it. If you want to take breaks with shitty little Adam Sandler comedies and stuff, you ain't going to miss much. But when you're talking about a big boy film like this, and this is a big boy fucking film that's got big bollocks, then you appreciate it and you respect it and you sit the fuck down and you watch it for 3 hours and 20 minutes. And if you ain't got the time, don't ever watch it.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
I agree with everything. Well done, Ben. I especially like your analogy of splitting a painting into 3 and then covering the last third. It's very good.
But it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
You're not watching it all. You're not seeing it all at once as it's intended.
Exactly. You can't see the beauty of the whole thing rather than the beauty of just the last third. It's supposed to be seen as a whole picture.
Nah.
Why would you watch it in like sections?
Why would you split it? Look, bottom line is, if you ask Martin Scorsese, and you said to him, should I split this up into hour chunks or should I watch it all at once when I've got the time?
On my phone.
What's he going to say? Regardless of on the phone or not, like, that's annoying. But yeah, he's going to say, fuck off, don't watch my films.
Like your man David Lynch doesn't put chapters in films, does he? On his DVDs.
Exactly. David Lynch understands it as well. David Lynch is like, no. And like David Lynch sums it up perfectly. Like the length, if people got problems with the length, there's a behind the scenes footage of him making this latest Twin Peaks: The Return. And while he's filming a scene, one of the crew members says to him, do you want to move on? Or is this scene running a little bit too long? And he turns around and he has a look of death. And he likes, what is it with you people? Who gives a fucking shit how long a scene is? For fuck's sake, it needs to be as long as it needs to be. And length hasn't got to be a bad thing. If it's telling a story, if you had lost half hour of this film, it would be poorer for it. Yeah, it needed everything, man.
Totally.
It's just the way it's been released that it's going to get this criticism for it, which is unfortunate.
It is a shame.
The stupid thing is, right? These people, they're complaining about the length of the film, regardless of whether they've seen it or not. They're already saying it's too long, right? But how about, like, fair enough if you're saying, oh, it's too long. I don't feel like it needed to be that long. I could have got the story in like less. Like maybe you didn't enjoy it. You obviously didn't enjoy it for what it was, right? Yeah. So like when I watched It Chapter 2, I was like, I don't think it needed all that last 20 minutes of it because it wasn't. But they're complaining of the length before they've even fucking seen it.
I know. You've got no legs.
Experience the film.
I haven't seen it.
I do say it a lot that the films are too long, and that's one of the biggest things that annoys me in a film when it's too long. It's unnecessarily long. But for this. Yes, it only was in the cinema for a long time, but it did not feel like 3.5 hours long. Because you don't think of the time. You're not looking at your watch thinking, oh fuck, I've only been watching this for an hour, I've still got another 2.5 hours. You don't do that.
No, it felt...
The first time you want to look at your watch, it's like, oh shit, that's been 2.5 hours gone already.
It was immersive. That's the trick. Like, if you're not enjoying it, it's going to feel fucking long. But if you're immersed in it, you're in it, you're sitting in it, you're there with them, you're on the ride, and that's the point. Good films will do that. It doesn't matter how long or short it is. If it's a good fucking film, time isn't a factor.
It's all about the fucking journey. It's like Apocalypse Now, going on that journey down the river, all the way to that apocalypse at the end.
I need to watch that film again. I ain't too hot on that.
I like that film.
I don't like the bit in memory that I dislike is when they're having that party and the entertainer comes down and everything. I'm like, this is a war and this is going on. And like, it may well have happened, but I wasn't.
Where all the girls are doing the can.
Well, exactly. I don't like to see
bit.
the girls doing the can.
Well, that was all about how all the men were getting aggressive, and they started trying to get the women, and they had to get on a helicopter to get out because they were getting too aggressive.
Imagine how good that film would have been if the whole thing was told from Brando's perspective.
Or just him sitting in a cave.
Have you ever seen Hot Shots?
I have seen Hot Fuzz, yes.
When they go past in the boat.
Yes.
It's so good.
Speaking of Brando,
yeah,
I saw a comparison on Twitter the other day of a picture side by side where they were like, Joe Pesci's character in The Irishman is Vito Corleone. He's the new Vito Corleone. Because Vito was also, you never saw him get angry. He was calm, he was measured, he was a proper boss, that traditional mafia boss.
But you know he's threatening, you know he's going to kill someone.
Yeah,
you know he
pulls the strings.
He's the Godfather for a reason.
Oh man, I feel like this was a real get you in the feels movie in so many ways. The ending was sad and solemn and just morose and full of regret. It was like, oh, it's killer, man. When he doesn't even realise it's Christmas and that he's going to be left alone over Christmas, you know? That's heartbreaking.
Oh, yes.
That's fucking heartbreaking.
Okay, now that I think about that, yeah, that totally makes sense. That is the loneliness.
Yeah. No one's coming to see him apart from the priest.
And that's what the whole the point of this person died this way, this person died that way, showing how everyone's dead
got it
by
coming.
the end.
Yeah, you're right. That was wicked when they were putting away that all of them died on screen. It was funny, but it was totally, that's it. It's like, this is inevitable.
Hitting home straight away.
Yeah, it's like this person's gone by the end of this film. So
even like so many were hits, but like there was like one or two that were like, nice guy, loved by all, died of natural causes. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's not even got to be about a bullet. Your end will come. Mm-hmm. It had to be told at this time in their career. None of these lot could have made this film 20 years ago. They needed to be at this point in life because it's so fucking reflective. It's so mature. It's so like deep and textured, man. I can't wait to watch this again. I'm hoping to watch this again between Christmas and New Year. Give me something to look forward to.
Yeah, I definitely need to watch it again.
Here, let me tell you boys something you are going to really like.
Go for it.
You know the poster where Pesci is right at the front and he's looking to the right, and De Niro's in the middle looking to the right, and Pacino's at the back looking to the left?
Yes.
Yeah?
Is he looking to the left?
Yeah, Pacino's looking a different direction to them.
Okay.
And he's the furthest away. If you go to Goodfellas and look at the scene where Liotta and Pesci and De Niro go to Pesci's mum's house, and Pesci's mum brings out a painting of a guy with two dogs.
Wait, Pacino? You said Pacino in...
Pesci, Liotta and De Niro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say Pacino in Goodfellas.
I know. He had a little cameo. Blink and you miss it. I meant that scene where they go to Scorsese's mum's house.
Yeah.
When they got the body of that guy. And she brings out a painting, or Pesci brings out a painting, and it's of an old man with two dogs. And he says, oh, look at the way. This one's looking this way and that one's looking that way. It is exactly identical to the poster for The Irishman.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
It's a weird thing to do, but...
It's weird, but was it intentional, or is it just...
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's nice.
Not.
It's nice.
It's very nice.
Okay, so Ben, you've seen films like Knives Out, which you loved, and The Lighthouse, and now The Irishman, and Le Mans. So you've seen probably most of the ones coming up for Best Picture this year.
Yeah.
Do you reckon The Irishman... they don't stand a chance?
I think Irishman is going to sweep it, mate. I think Irishman is really going to sweep it. In all honesty, Paul's right. Joaquin Phoenix is probably going to get Best Actor. I wouldn't begrudge him it. I wouldn't. But if this doesn't get Best Picture, something's wrong. And that's not personal opinion. It's like this. You see for yourself, man. You've seen it for yourself.
I think there's a big difference. Yeah, this is like The Irishman's like history.
Yeah,
this is history. All the people in it, history. Where the rest is like, it's just a fresh film. It's a new film. This is like something else.
See now, like what's the award for CGI? What do they call it? Special effects.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, arguably, right? Okay,
Visual effects, isn't it?
Visual effects. So, something like this is used in a much more intimate way than Avengers was, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm aware, because I did enjoy that final Avengers film, but I don't like to admit it, but the visuals in that were done really well as well, but on a totally different scale. Like, it was grand explosion superhero stuff, and this is about detail on faces. So how can you compare the two? How can you say one is better than the other? Exactly. Like, the level of detail on a face is so different to creating entire huge vast set pieces, so it's unfair for it to go one way or the other on that front.
I think it goes miles by the fact that we didn't even notice which was CGI and which wasn't.
Yeah.
Apart from the World War II scene, because you can obviously tell that it's a younger De Niro.
Yeah, you're right. I'm hoping that this takes it. De Niro, Scorsese should get Best Director. And can I shout out Thelma Shoemaker, because we never talk about editors.
Mm-hmm.
But Thelma Shoemaker has worked with Martin Scorsese on all of his films. And in all of Scorsese's previous films, even if you're someone who watches films and you're not really aware of what's going on in the edit, you're aware that they have a quick cut visual style. Things are snappy and quick, and you see a scene for a second, then you see something else for a second, and something cuts here, something cuts there. That is her trademark with Scorsese. It adds to the flash and the pizzazz of so many things. But in this film, it just didn't happen. She stepped back, and I think she deserves the Oscar for Best Editor, because she stepped back.
Didn't do.
No, but she was still doing a great job. She made the decision to not cut and to let the scenes breathe. Let there be room around the performance. So rather than let's cut to this and now cut to that, let's see that. Let's linger on his face in this moment. Let's see that sadness. Let's see that emotion. Let's see that fear.
Yeah.
Let's see that isolation.
The only way you can describe this film is it is a modern day Godfather. That's the only way you can describe it.
Yeah, epic of that proportions, right?
And it's the way it's set out, the pacing of a film as well. It doesn't rely on anything apart from just great acting.
No,
that
it's
is
true.
the film.
It speaks for itself. I'm so relieved that this was good. There was a tiny part in my heart that thought it could be bad.
We waited so long for this. I remember the first time I met you, when this was kind of announced, and it was just rumours and rumours and rumours.
That's mental, isn't it? Yeah, that's so long ago. Do you know...
It's like 7 years of rumours, and now it's happened.
There was one final fuck you from Scorsese to whoever made the decision to call it The Irishman, because he doesn't call it The Irishman at the beginning of the film. He puts that "Heard You Paint Houses."
Yeah.
Like in big fucking letters as well, so you can't even miss that.
Because that's the name of the book, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can just imagine some cunt up top's like, nah, nobody knows what that is. Call it The Irishman.
I kind of like I Heard You Paint Houses better.
Yeah, me too. They only mention Irishman, the word Irishman, once, and it's in reference to JFK.
No, I swear I swear Pesci talks to De Niro as the Irishman.
Yeah, Pesci says three people in this world have this ring. Yeah, but then he says...
And one of them's Irish.
Yeah, and one of them's Irish. That's what he says. And one of them's Irish.
One of them's an Irish man.
Yes, he should have said it. What a missed opportunity. What a missed opportunity. Anyway, this is beautiful. And
I have nothing else to say on this
I have
film
nothing
anymore.
else to say on it, and we can add a little flourish in our end of year spectacular when it inevitably appears in some of our top 10s.
Yes. Well, we just got to say one more thing. This has actually taken the top spot, and this is the best film we've ever reviewed on the FilmBusters podcast.
Well done to both of you boys for making the right call.
Look at that.
I'm so
the
glad.
Irishman, the Joker, and then what is it? Is it Avengers Endgame?
I think it's John Wick. I think it's John Wick, mate.
Oh, is it John Wick? Yeah, it's John Wick. John Wick 3, yes.
I'm so glad that we're all like, okay, Adam gave it a 9, but we all fucking loved it. Because as much as I enjoy for the podcast arguing with you boys about shit like Tomb Raider and all that sort of nonsense, to have a film like this, I would not have enjoyed arguing with you guys about this.
This is just about reveling in it.
Just appreciating it as film. At the end of the day, we fucking love film. We love cinema in all its formats. But this was truly, truly beautiful. This is that, that little image of Del Toro saying, and I believe in cinema. This is what he's talking about.
Yeah,
this is that kind of thing. No. This fills my heart. This is like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful filmmaking, man.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's a beautiful thing. What a lovely review. What is our next film that we're doing? Potentially.
Adam really wants to do this one.
Yes, he does really want to do this. Oh yes, that I do remember what our next film is. Yes, we're looking to hopefully do Frozen 2, which is going to be a total gear change.
You guys need to let it go, man.
Way.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
I don't know any of them fucking songs to make any reference.
Go.
And we can talk about the sexism and the sexual politics and all that stuff.
Of course, that's what we'll get into the gritty of Frozen.
Let's talk about Olaf's performance.
Yes.
And the great direction. Let's talk about how Anna is given so few lines in the next film, but she said so much in the silence. She said it all with her big Disney-fied eyes.
We could also talk about, was Sven a good representation for reindeers?
Yes.
Shall I wrap this up?
Yes, wrap it up.
Yeah, you do it.
Okay, boys. So
at FilmBusters, Adam.
It's lovely you guys listen to us. If you wanna get in touch with us and ask us anything, shut up. You can get in touch with us at FilmBusters Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or you can email us at filmbusters@outlook.com. We also have our lovely website where we put up loads of reviews or little articles, and you can get to us at www.filmbusterspod.co.uk. We also have our personal Twitter accounts. I'm at FilmBusters Paul.
I'm at FilmBusters Adam.
And I'm at FilmBusters Ben.
Pennywise.
Pennywise.
Wrap this up nicely by just saying one word each to describe The Irishman.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I've got mine already.
Go first then.
Masterful.
Epic.
Phenomenal.
This masterful, phenomenal, epic.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Doesn't roll with the tongue, but it's nice.
Beautiful. We're going to go from the best film we've watched for this podcast to, in our next episode, the worst film we've ever watched.
What would you do if Frozen 2 took the top spot, Ben?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we all hit 10s? Wouldn't that be fucking batshit crazy?
I'm not going to give The Irishman a 10, so I want there to always be the possibility that it could get beaten, and Ben will have to be nervous about every film we ever watch.
It could be beaten if we all did 3 10s in another thing. And what about this, Adam? What if you love Rise of Skywalker? And Paul loves it and I love it. 10. I'm the one who gave it the highest rating, The Last Jedi.
It's true.
Yeah, but I can't see you giving it a 10.
No, I can't either. That was our first episode. We're almost coming full circle. We've been around long enough for twos to be separated by souls.
And one really bad solo film.
Right, that's true.
No, but it wasn't that bad. It was average. It was average.
It was all right. It was fine. Last year, we had a bit of a silly year. We did a load of silly films and whatnot. This year, we've been much more serious. Next year, we'll mix the serious and the silly. That's why we need to throw Frozen 2 in the mix.
FilmBusters.